Welcome to Leading with Joy, where we explore what it looks like to live, lead, and facilitate with joy. Today, I'm here with Chantal Menard. She is an absolute joy beam. We're got to get her to laugh because she is like, if you like my laugh, there, it already happened. Oh my gosh, we're like that laughing show. It's already starting. This is so good.
Also,
Yes.
guess what? Over
But
the weekend, I got to do laugh yoga, and it was amazing,
okay.
and I brought it all. It was a blast.
I
Yeah.
love this. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm excited to dive in. I think let's just start with you just sharing a little bit about you. So, for anyone who's meeting you or hearing you for the first time, maybe just describe the work that you do. A little bio introduction if you can.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Chantal Menard. I'm a workplace wellbeing and joy facilitator here in the Edmonton area. And to be truthful, 6 years ago, I was not in a place where I could experience or even feel joy. It was completely out of reach. And I was in a constant state of red line. That is just my honest truth. So my nervous system was technically not okay. And we were running a fabrication shop. We had two kids in competitive sports, and we were essentially overriding everything that was going on, pretending like everything was okay on the outside. And we were actually not doing okay at all. So the truth is that we were still reeling from the Fort McMurray wildfires, where we had lost 3 properties and we were forced to walk away from $1 million in real estate. But what was devastating is that we had to foreclose on 3 of those properties. And foreclosure is just a word that is so not in our vocabulary. And so that was really weighing heavily on us. And at the same time, we were in the middle of developing a partnership with another company that was trying to purchase our business. And I'll never forget the moment where I received the call from the chief financial officer of the other company. And he told me, he said, we have a really big problem. And he said, we just pulled your credit bureau reports and you have 3 fresh foreclosures on your credit bureau reports, which is clearly a massive no-no when you're trying to purchase a business. So I could no longer hide. I could no longer hide behind my title, my big title of being vice president of a company. I could no longer hide behind my husband, and I could no longer hide behind our business. And so the truth is things continued to escalate, and I'll never forget the moment where my husband and I were closing up the shop one day, and he legitimately wanted to throw the keys away and not come back.
Mhm.
And I remember that feeling of hopelessness, of not knowing where to turn or what to do and feeling handcuffed. And I think that that's the state that I can relate to with people the most, is that feeling of feeling depleted, overgiving, the feeling of being so sick and tired of talking about strategy. Strategy is not what I needed. I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted to feel better. And things did not change overnight. And we did come to our breaking point where I realized that if we didn't make drastic changes in our lives, one of 2 things was going to happen. We were either going to lose the business or it was going to cost us our lives. And that sounds very dramatic, but it's actually the truth. We were completely in survival mode, and we had been operating in that state for the past 10 years, and we didn't even know it. And I think that's the reality with a lot of people, is that they're in overwhelm and they have no idea that they're in overwhelm because it's become our new normal.
Yeah.
And we tend to thrive in that chaos, and we tend to more and more to our plate, when what we actually need to do is come back to ourselves and realize that strategy is not going to help.
Yeah.
Strategy is not going to help. Feeling better requires us to develop our own practice, and it looks different for all of us. And that's what happened for me over time. I got to learn about meditation that feels good for me, meditation that is not just about clearing our thoughts, but where we're actually allowed to notice what thoughts we're having and what feelings we're having, and then allowing that shift to take place to better feeling thoughts. And that's where I got to meet Jillian as well. So I took meditation and breath work Facilitator training through Mandy Trapp, and Jillian was teaching joy-based values, and I knew nothing of what she was talking about. But she said one line that really resonated with me. And that line was, what if you could develop a practice in your life that allowed you to regulate your nervous system and call in more joy and ease in your life? And it lit a switch. And I realized that we actually don't need to feel like lone wolves suffering and going at it alone. There are communities, there are support groups, there are people out there that are available and willing to assist and provide tools to help us develop a practice so that we can start feeling better and we can start getting in touch with what alignment looks like and feels like, which was so new to me.
So the time we met, alignment was new to you? Like this was all brand new?
Alignment was brand new to me. I think alignment is a buzzword that we've used
Yeah.
that I've used for the past 30 years. And I never quite understood how to know whether I was in alignment or not. It was like this mystery.
Yeah.
And now it just feels so simple. Like as you teach, we have the AAA Joy formula, and it's so simple. And the formula is that action plus awareness equals alignment. And so for me in my life, it became a no-brainer. I was taking a lot of courses, and some of those courses fit, and some of those courses were not fitting. I just wasn't getting what I needed from them. And so it became really clear those that I was really connecting with, that I could really feel the resonance with, those were a hard yes. That means that I'm in alignment. It gets to be easy and it gets to be fun. And the courses that I wasn't really gaining much out of, I was either able to complete or in one case, not complete it. And it wasn't the end of the world. I could then continue on with the things in the courses in my life that felt more aligned.
Yeah. Yeah. In Facilitator, we talk about how alignment is queen. And the truth is, when I was on my sober journey, it's why this is built into the program, in all of the joy sessions and the joy method and the Joy Facilitator program is around, the way in which we know if something is right for us is whether or not it feels good. Very simply. Very simply. And the challenge with that is that most of us don't know how to feel. And so we don't have access to how we are feeling because we have been stuffing it down or numbing or resisting it our whole lives. Also, we're programmed to not feel pretty much from childhood, most of us. And not that anyone around us was doing harm purposefully, but it's that you're uncomfortable, so I'm uncomfortable. If you're crying, then I'm feeling something, so don't cry.
Yeah.
And we still do this. And even in the joy sessions, we talk about how to let people feel because it's healing. And it's about allowing it to move through, not resisting it. So the ability to feel all of the feelings, not just the good ones, is that actually what allows us to know whether or not things are in or out of alignment. And that is what allows us. And I would say that's why it's step one in the joy method, is to actually feel better in our lives.
Well, and I think what impacted me the most based on understanding the depth of the joy method, you get to learn it initially, but then you get to really practice its depth. And one of the keys for me was actually sitting and honoring some of those feelings that are not that fun to deal with. Shame, right? We had to deal with money shame. We had to deal with a sense of failure. We had to deal with a sense of grief of saying goodbye to a business that we had grown from the beginning. And just this radical mix of emotion where you've got grief and celebration together, right? We were lucky to sell a business in the end. That was worth celebrating, but there was all the feelings that we had been stuffing down that came to the surface that needed to be honored before we could move to the next phase. And you can't rush that.
No, you can't. You can't as much as we want to. It's part of what unlocks joy
Yeah.
for us, right? Because we can't feel. We've got to feel the pain if we want to feel the joy as well. I love this.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more. So what made you, I remember you were so mad about the marketing. She kept messaging me saying, for the love of, what did you say?
For the love of Saint Jehoshaphat, stop with your marketing.
So Chantel, when I met her, it was just instant kindred spirits. You know when you know, you know. And I just saw her. Like there's certain people I just can see them. I just see them as joy facilitators. And obviously there's no pressure. I think I had mentioned to you once, and you're like, I'm not signing up for any programs this year. Well, lo and behold. Okay, so tell us what happened. Like what was kind of going on for you when you felt pulled to the program?
So, what was going on for me is I was completing my meditation and breathwork facilitator training, and I felt like I had achieved everything that I wanted to achieve. And I was essentially saying no to more courses, more programs. And I was trying to honor that. And at the same time, the truth is, I was hearing that voice inside saying, you can continue to play small if you want. Like the option is there. You can continue to play small, which I've done for the last 25 years. And I've known this. Or we can step into the work that we know we need to step into. And so then I began to entertain it. And of course, the imposter syndrome wants to kick in, and timing, and it's a financial investment for sure. And all those things were beginning to toy with me. And I tuned in and I realized that I did have the option to continue to play small, which is what I've done the majority of my life. Or I could take this step now and make that shift.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was the best decision I made.
Yeah, I just got full shivers because I remember being on the call with you. What's amazing about Chantel is like she's fierce. Like this is a fierce, fierce joy leader. And so on the call, she was like, okay, she had like a few very technical questions. And then she's like, okay, I want it all. She signed up for not only facilitator, but there's an option for higher level like brand support and every like it was like the full meal deal.
Yeah.
And that's I think so telling for others who are kind of maybe on the fence with not joining facilitator program per se, but whatever that thing is that you can feel but you're resisting. So yeah, I think that's really inspiring, and I think it's important for people to hear because we know when we are maybe not whether or not you identify with the term like playing small, or maybe it's more like self-abandonment, or maybe it's just lack of belief in yourself. But there will be an inner voice in those moments. We have the inner critic, but we also have the high self who is also loud when we can make the room and space to hear. And it's really just checking in because no one else will know these things for you. Like I am so careful about how I speak to people about this program because it is a soul calling and it requires 100% alignment. I'm not pulling people in or pushing people in because I'm not going to pull or push you through the program. Like this requires so much self and sacred discipline. And maybe we'll speak to that next. What has this look like for you? What does the moving through the program look like for you? And what is it required of you, would you say?
Oof. It has required a lot of stretching, to be honest. This program, the Joy Facilitator program, it's actually difficult to put it to words, to be honest. And the truth is, I underestimated what we would be receiving and the amount of work required. Like, this is not a joke. It's
Right?
profound. It's very, very profound work. It requires you to dig very, very deep. It requires you to look at opportunities for growth. It requires you to not depend on others to be rescued or fixed. It requires you to step into leadership. It requires a huge amount of self-compassion, which is a continual practice for me. And it requires you to really look at your limiting beliefs.
And I would say what I've witnessed in you, it requires you to meet all of your own edges, would you say? Yeah. And
Absolutely.
the other
Yeah.
thing I say, and is it weird that I get excited when you talk like this? Because and this is why I say this program is no joke. This is not a weekend program.
No.
This is embodied leadership. It is embodied work. And it is going to bring up everything that has stopped you from showing up fully in your life, in your work, in your leadership until this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meeting your edges actually doesn't even feel adequate, to be honest. It's the program is life-changing, and I'm not saying that to promote you, Jillian. I'm being really frank in terms of how much it has shifted my life and my mindset. Not just what I want to do in the future, but it has shifted how we act in our family. It has shifted my friendships. It has shifted my relationships. It has shifted me completely in terms of how I meet myself.
Yeah.
And
Can
it's
I
opened me up to a whole new audience of people that I'm working with, but also looking up to. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does it feel now to lead from this place?
It feels friggin' magical. I wish I could find a different word. I
Yeah.
have never felt so inspired. I've never felt so aligned in what it is that I want to do.
Okay, let's talk about that. What are you doing? Because came in hot, like really ready, and I think you're the person who, I say like you could start to facilitate by month 2 or 3 if you're really ready. There's like no stopping you. This program will meet you where you're at, and you really did start hitting the ground running. And so can you share with us what your work looks like now? You're still in program. Technically, you
Yes.
just completed a paid joy session workshop just now this weekend.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Tell us, like, what does your work look like now? Like, who are you supporting and what are you being drawn to?
So the work that I support are essentially people that have faced the same struggles as what I have faced. So the majority of people are not broken or falling apart. They're dealing with a ridiculous amount of overwhelm, people pleasing, overgiving, and they're just looking for a place to come back to themselves and less strategy and feeling better. That's what people are craving. And they're also craving taking stuff off their plate. And so those are the people that I'm working with right now. The corporate world has a huge appetite for this work right now. Why? Why? Because corporate teams are also overwhelmed and they're tired about talking about strategy too. They want to feel better. And so I see that avenue opening up with limitless opportunities, not
Yeah.
just for me. I mean, for everyone. There's limitless opportunities for the work that we have available to us. Everybody needs this.
Yes, everyone needs it, and corporate does
Everybody
need
needs
it more.
this.
I'm getting called into so many different companies to bring joy, now Joy Leadership. You're on board as well. Like Chantel, with her corporate experience, is a perfect person to be bringing this work to companies. And this is a big demand. I've had so many people reaching out for facilitators. As Chantel knows, I've been sharing in our facilitator community these opportunities because I can't do it all alone. I don't want to do it all alone, but also the work is there. And I think is this not so exciting and promising? Like the session you just had, seeing all of these men coming in, everyone is ready, almost like so starving for the realness of what it means to actually feel good and not from a place of comfort necessarily, because feeling good actually requires us to move through the discomfort. But I think we're at a time in the world where people really get it and know it and they're ready for something different. And this is real, true, authentic work. It's personal development and professional development. Yeah.
And like Jillian, I'll just be perfectly honest. When I initially met you, I did not understand the depth of this work at all. Honestly, I did not. And when you were explaining that you were doing this with businesses, I was like, really? Now that I understand what we're teaching and how we get to live this and how we get to embody it, and we get to teach that it's a nervous system regulation tool, like this is just mind blowing to me. Of
Yeah.
course, there's a massive need for this.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a huge demand
Huge.
because the stats have now changed. This is Canada alone. In Canada alone, 1 in every 2 people, so basically 50% of people, feel depleted, completely overwhelmed, and stressed. So, what is that doing in the workplaces? What is that doing in our bodies? What is that doing in our relationships, in our marriages? It's wreaking havoc.
Yeah. It's time for a shift.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Who would you recommend this program to? The facilitator program?
I would recommend this program to anybody who is ready to step into alignment with what it is that they want most when it comes to sharing their medicine with other people.
Woo! I just got the
Yeah.
shivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I love it. And if someone was on the fence, if that person was, nervous or reasonably so, because this is a big deal, what would you say to them?
I would say take the leap. Honestly, take the leap. And I fully understand that it is scary, that there are so many unknowns, that you may not have all of the answers. But I can guarantee you that whatever you're expecting from the program will be exceeded.
Yeah. Woo!
Is it is This is not just a regular course. There are so many tools, and Jillian will allow you to walk away with 6 workshops that you'll be ready to facilitate. And that to me was a game changer because if you consider the time the energy, the expertise, all of the wisdom that goes into these courses that we now get to facilitate and deliver. This is saving me probably 3 or 4 years developing what it is that I want to facilitate. And now it's done. Now I get to hit the road running before the course is even complete. So that to me is something that is priceless because it has saved me years of putting material together and it's all professionally done. You get scripts, you get Canvas slides, you get workbooks, you get it all.
Yeah.
And it's done in a way that Jillian's intention is always so clear. She does not want us to be mini Jillians. She wants us to go into the world and share our own frequency, our own medicine, everything that we have to offer. And that was really special for me because at the end of the day, there's material that I want to share that is different than Jillian's, and that's okay.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
encouraged because you have your own magic. You have your own medicine. You have your own wisdom. You have your own education. You have all of your own things, and we're all meant to do this differently. This work isn't meant to look cookie cutter, and that's why we could have thousands of joy facilitators all learning the same workshops and the same joy method,
Yeah.
and everyone will do it different, and everyone does do it different, and the world needs this. Like, so no, I thank you for sharing that. I don't want anyone to be a replica of me. God forbid. We don't need more of me in the world. We need more of you. The world needs your light. And so this program is, it's part of a deep, like very profound vision to light up the world from the inside out together. And Chantal, I just want to thank you. Having you as a part of our community, our leadership community, our team is so powerful. And I'm so excited to light it up with you, particularly in corporate. But I feel like you're going to be called into a lot of different spaces. Are you open to, if anyone wants to reach out to you to connect, either whether you want to bring Chantal into your workplace or into your workshops or hire her, and or if you're interested in the program and if they want to ask questions, are you open to people reaching out?
Oh, please. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we'll
Because at
link
the end of
her up.
the day, it's always fun to deal with Jillian, but you also want to speak to a facilitator in training and ask the questions that you might be having. And it's okay that you're scared. It's okay
Yeah.
to be scared.
I feel like when you're scared, it's actually showing us that we're headed in the right direction, because the fear to me shows up when we are about to walk that edge, when we are about to meet those pieces of ourselves that we maybe have been holding back. And I think the one thing I would say, just to wrap this up, is that you will be well held, not only by me, but by the community. We've got a community of certified facilitators as well as the people who are in your group. It is a tight, very intimate cohort of people who are all speaking the same language. It is potent and profound.
Yeah.
So like, you will be held, I will be meeting you exactly where you're at. That's, I think Chantal can attest to that as well. Like, I do everything in my power to bring everything that each student needs in order to feel absolutely empowered to share and shine as bright as they possibly can.
Well, and I just want to add, Jillian, that one of the things that you bring to the table that is so unique is the concept that you allow us to dig deep, and the pain that you heal becomes the medicine that you offer the world. And you have a way of helping us find what exactly that medicine is. Because some people are really unsure when we talk about medicine, like, what's your medicine? Like, that's a really concept to certain people. But you have a gift of helping people find their medicine and then turning their pain into a gift that they get to share with the world. And that's where the magic lies.
Yeah, thank you for
But it's
saying
deep
that.
work. It's deep
Yeah.
work.
It is, and I feel like, if I may, this work was born out of out of shadow work. Joy work is actually shadow work. If we trick people, we trick you with the joy. But again, we can't actually bypass all of the humanness and experience joy as well. So for me, this work was born out of the shadow. It was born out of my reclamation of joy through my sobriety. And what I know to be true, and I know this is truth of all of the facilitators, it's why the podcast is called the Joy Journey Podcast. It is, what have you walked through? What fires have you walked through? What medicine have you gained? But it's looking at the fires that you have walked and seeing them not as here to hurt you, harm you, or take you out, but it's actually where you reclaimed your power. And the way we all do this in our own ways, there's opportunities to do it in our own ways. But through the facilitator program, that's part of the program, is learning how to speak and share your story from an empowered place, meaning that it's no longer holding you back and holding you down. In fact, you can see how that exact thing is actually serving you and serving others. And to me, that's what it's all about. We reclaim the power through the pain. And when we begin to share it, that is where we turn it into purpose. And this is what all of the Joy Facilitators are doing. And it's so inspiring. And I see it in everyone that I work with. It is part of, I think, my magic is like being able to see people's power and see their light even through the shadow. So there is a level of readiness there though, to be able to, you're standing and you're healed. You're not in the trenches with it.
Yes.
And when you're ready to step into the leadership of the truth and the authentic humanness, lead from a place of not perfection, but genuine realness. That is what joy leadership is the willingness to walk the walk and inspire those around us rather than rescue, fix, or control like we might have been programmed to previously.
And that is the magic of the program. You just so eloquently summarize exactly what the journey is in the facilitator program.
Yeah.
It's very, very deep work. It is incredible work. And the opportunities that have arrived are, for me, mind blowing, to be honest. Overwhelmingly mind blowing. And one of the things that Jillian is working with me on is we can't always fly 50 planes at once.
Or
Sometimes that
ever.
does work, or ever. And so, as much as I thought it would be such a great idea to be in the facilitator program and launch a business and a website at the same time, that was not in alignment.
Yeah.
I needed to integrate and embody the work of the facilitator program first,
Yes.
and then focus on websites, launching all of the things.
Yeah. Yeah. You've really shown me there's a process there that's really important to honor. It's not as much as we want all the things all at once. It's really important for all of us. And speaking of stress and overwhelm, to really slow things down and savor every opportunity that we're experiencing, everything that we're doing, all of the things on our plate so that we can actually enjoy it and really glean the gold instead of that pushing and forcing and rushing. What does it look like to slow down and savor everything that we're committed to and enjoy it? Yeah.
And hold one another accountable when there's opportunities for growth, which is something that Jillian will also do with the facilitators in training. When we are in a position where she sees us overgiving, being ridiculous, she will call us out. And she has called me out.
Lovingly.
We had a recent example, and I'll be vulnerable and I'll share this, where at the retreat that I just facilitated at over the weekend, it wasn't enough for me to facilitate one session. I asked Amanda, the organizer of the event, if I could facilitate 2 sessions. And Jillian wanted to dig deeper into why it was necessary for me to facilitate 2 sessions. And I came up with this beautiful reason. It was freaking okay.
You
It
almost
was freaking
you almost
epic.
fooled us both.
Yeah. And she called bullshit, and she said, "Let's dig a little bit deeper into that." And what it boiled down to is me going back to my patterning of not feeling good enough and needing to over effort and overgive. 1 session was actually plenty, and 2 actually brought me out of alignment. It was requiring a lot of me right now. And so she gently nudged me to put my money where my mouth is and reminded me that as joy facilitators, we have to take those opportunities for growth seriously, and we have to be in alignment. And so I had to have a conversation with Amanda for my own sake and just request that we renegotiate how the workshop was going to unfold. And it actually worked better for Amanda as well to have my sessions reduced from 2 to 1. So there were win-wins on both sides, and it wasn't easier. It actually really hurt my pride. It actually really hurt my pride that I now couldn't say that I was facilitating 2 sessions. I was just doing 1. And it's not about that. And so holding ourselves accountable to our own alignment and what feels right, and holding each other accountable as well as facilitators, because that's what's happening right now in the program. There's challenges throughout, and this is not an easy journey, but I can assure you that you're going to feel quantum leaps ahead of the game if you work with Jillian and with your fellow facilitators and you take it seriously for yourself.
Yeah. Woo! I just got full shivers. Thank you for sharing that truth bomb. I think it'll be good for people. The thing was you were in overwhelm and like, and alignment is queen. And especially in this work, it's like, this is what I'm teaching this. And these aren't just teachings. Joy facilitation is embodied work. It is not, we're not just leading. We're not doing this from a place of ego or needing to tell everyone what to do. It's literally, I'm walking this out and people can feel it. We are in the era of frequency. So we need to put our money where our mouth is. And what I love about this program is it holds me to the fire as well. Like there are places where I need to back up, where I'm actively shifting. I share that with everyone. I have my own opportunities for growth. I am in it with you 1000%. I am not, I'm very humble about this work. It is a practice and I'm often side by side with everyone walking it out as well. So I think it's just really important to know that and to be honest about it because, I just think the perfection myth is what's keeping a lot of us away from actually changing the world. And I know we're here to do it from the inside out. So thank you. Thank you again for being here
I'm
and
a
for,
recovering perfectionist and a recovering rigid and a recovering people pleaser and
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah,
And I also just want to say that I'm constantly humbled by your ability to teach us what joy actually is. And one thing that I love is that Jillian will always teach that joy is not about chasing rainbows and sunshine and joy, love, and happiness and all of those things or being the fake Pollyanna. That is not at all what this program is about or what Jillian teaches. For me, it is about finding joy in the contrast of our lives, in the messy middle, in the seasons of our lives where we are in overwhelm, where we're facing enormous grief, where we feel handcuffed to something, we feel stuck, and we don't know what to do, and we don't know what the answer is. And being able to identify that we can still glean the gold from those seasons in our lives, but we also don't need to stay in those seasons forever. And there's support available and there's tools available. And the whole joy method is there to assist us to move forward and then to get very real about our dreams and how we get to manifest those dreams.
yeah, practically.
Yeah.
Practical manifestation. Oh, I love it. Okay, I could just talk to you all friggin' day. We'll wrap it up here for now, but I know you'll be back on and we'll be sharing a lot more. Yeah, I just want to thank you for sharing your joy with us today and just being who you are. You're such a beautiful, bright light. I love your leadership, Chantel. This is just the beginning. If anyone listening is feeling the pull toward the Joy Facilitator program and or working with Chantel, I encourage you to reach out. This is your invitation to explore it. If you want to, you can check out and learn more at the academyofjoyfulliving.com or DM or email me. Just find me. I'm pretty much everywhere. Jillian Shecker everywhere. Chantal Menard everywhere. Thank you for being here. I love you, love you, love you.
I love you, Jillian. Thank you so much for the work that you're spreading in the world. I'm so grateful.
Me too. I'm grateful for you. Thank you.